So here's a short review of the Revvi 12-inch bike. We've had this for nearly a year. Bought it from a 3-year-old. He's now just turned 4. So that's it. You'll see really from the compared to the catalogue pictures, we've a different number board that's been salvaged off a KTM balance bike, and we've added a sort of homemade rear mudguard. It was just off a mountain bike and it was just cut to suit. Makes a big difference. With regards to the number board on the front, the one that comes with it, yeah, looks great, but one crash and it snaps off. So that's a sort of better solution if you still want a number board. You don't need it obviously, but it's part of the look, I suppose. So priced at about £300 in the UK. Value wise, I suppose it's okay. There's a lot of, the adjusters and that, especially on the rear for your rear wheel, are kind of cheap and not very functional. It's very difficult to get this, and your rear brake ones there. It's very difficult to get the wheel alignment right, and to adjust the rear brake, which I've had to do a few times. But overall, I suppose, for what you're getting, it's probably not too bad. Couple of things about the bike that I've found out about it. It comes advertised with 2 speeds, so a slow speed and a high speed. The slow speed is absolutely useless. There's absolutely no point in the slow speed one at all. The motor isn't that strong, there isn't a lot of torque, and cutting that in half means that it won't go up like a basic hill, very, very slight incline. So you really have to run this in full speed, but luckily it's got a throttle, so it works both ways. Now, interesting thing with that throttle is it's got like a soft start, so the even if you snap the throttle wide open, the power ramps up gradually over, I think it's 3 to 5 seconds, something like that, which I suppose for the inexperienced is great, but using this as a stepping stone to a petrol bike, maybe not so good, because my son just gets on and uses it like an on switch. But I suppose that's got something to do, or a bit to do, with the fact that the bike's so slow anyway. So I've clocked him at about 11 miles an hour, but I have been behind him on a mountain bike going downhill, and he's been doing 17. So the freewheel on this thing works, and he was very stable. He's got the brake, knows how to use it, so yeah, overall quite good. So apart from the really, really meagre power and the sort of cheapo adjusters, the only other really annoying thing is when you use this in the wet. So if you use this in the wet, or your child goes through puddles, which children seem to be attracted to, they like to do, splash through the puddles, what happens is the water splashes up off your wheel here, hits your down tube here, and then it gets in between this sort of faux engine cover, and the switch that I was on about before for the high speed, low speed is situated on the bottom in a wee cavity. So it's got 2 connectors that poke up into this sort of engine area in here, where the electric motor and the controls are housed. Now, with the water going in here, and the way that this is designed, this ends up pulling and the water eventually shorts out the switch on the bottom, so the bike really goes into a limp mode. So using this in wet conditions is not really feasible if you actually want to use it, because as I said before, the limp mode is absolutely pointless. You can scoot this thing along, but there is a bit of weight to it, so it's, for a 3-year-old or whatever to scoot this along, it's probably a bit heavy. It's easy enough to carry for an adult, but yeah, and we seem to get sort of roughly 45 minutes run time on a full charge. So that is it, I would say, for that. £300. It's on the steep side of okay, I would say, for what you get and for the enjoyment he's had out of it. And I think it has served a purpose. It's certainly given him a lot of confidence going on to the petrol bike. So there you have it, the Revvi 12-inch.